today's episode of Level Up, we're going to be taking a look at two really cool webcams. They're so close and they're so tight. This isn't even going to be a video review. It is a straight up comparison where you guys get to decide which one is better and why. So let's dive in with the OBSBOT Meet 2 versus the Insta360 Link 2C. In this video, we're doing a side-by-side comparison of the OBSBOT Meet 2 versus the Insta360 Link 2C. These are two cameras that are direct competitors with one another. They both have a half-inch sensor. They're really tiny, as you see here on the screen, looking at them both side by side. The OBSBOT Meet 2K comes in at $129, and the Insta360 Link comes in at $149. They both have a half-inch CMOS sensor. Both have auto framing. There's no gimbal with these. They both have dual AI noise-canceling microphones built into them. Gesture control for both of them. Now, neither one of these come with a gimbal. There's no 2-axis, 3-axis gimbal. These are fixed webcams, and we're going to go ahead and put these two side by side. Now, with that being said, I just want to say, full disclosure, OBSBOT has simply covered the cost for me to do this video review for you guys. In fact, honestly, it's not even a review. Side-by-side comparison. They asked me not to give my opinion. This is not a video of me telling you which one to get. They simply asked me if I'd be willing to put these two side-by-side for you guys. That way you can see the comparisons between these two webcams and decide for yourself which one you like. But most importantly, they want to hear from you. Which webcam do you like better and why? Which features do you like? Which ones do you not like? What would you like to see them do to improve the OBSBOT Meet 2? So, when OBSBOT reached out and said, hey, would you be willing to do this video? We will cover any cost to make it. I'm down. I'm game. So as far as this video, I went out and bought the webcams, and OBSBOT reimbursed me for those webcams, and that's it. Not sponsored. This video isn't paid. I still had to spend 2 weeks of my own time making this video review or video comparison, and that's what we're going to do. Now, before we jump in with the rest of the video, you're watching me on the OBSBOT Meet 2 right now, directly into OBS. It's 4K, 30 frames per second, and I have the auto features turned off. This is dialed in how I use it when I'm doing a podcast live stream or a video call. And yeah, there you go. Very nice. And voila, this is the Insta360 Link 2C, directly into OBS. And it is 4K, 30 frames per second. All the auto settings are turned off. This is manual. This is how I have it dialed in. So now that you've seen what it looks like dialed in, I'm going to turn all the manual settings back off, put it back in the auto features, and then we're going to run through the Insta360 Controller app. Let's dive in. So we're at 4K 30 frames per second, but again, because I'm using 4K 30 frames per second, I'm setting this image out to both the app and OBS and trying to screen capture and record it all in 4K. It's a little bit of stutter, a little bit of lag in there. So we're going to dial this back down to 1080 30 frames per second. I believe the OBSBOT gives you 1080p and 720 at 60 frames per second should you want to be bumped up to that. But as you can see right now, I'm only capable of 30 frames per second in all three levels of definition. So that's just one difference I've noticed right off the bat the last 2 weeks of just kind of tinkering with both these webcams. For the purpose of running through the app, I'm going to do both webcams in 1080p, 30 frames per second. So in the bottom left-hand corner, there is the turn on and off the preview, which is a screen you see right here. Click that. You just get that screen, turn it back on, and we're back. You can change the resolution right here. You can change the orientation. So if you want portrait mode or if you want landscape mode, you see right here, you can switch it. You can also select low resolution. Now, low resolution is 360p, all right? That's old-time television before they had high definition. If you got a weak signal and you just need to get your image out, you're on a Zoom call, you're at a work call, and it's just, man, 720 is pushing it. You can drop it all the way down to 360 just to get yourself through. That's available on both webcams too, by the way. Right here, we have our auto framing feature. So if we click that, that again crops everything in and now gives it a little bit of room to follow you around the room in auto framing. All right. So that's what that does. Now the whiteboard feature you see right here, if I happen to have a whiteboard, like right where my sound panels are behind me, one of those were a whiteboard. They give you 4 stickers. They look just like this. You put these in the 4 corners, you select that whiteboard mode, and it'll look for those stickers and zoom in on whatever's inside that frame, the 4 corners you have marked out. Desk view, if you want to show something on your desk, you can point down, clicking that, and it just shoots right down. But because there is no gimbal, yeah, it's a stretchy. Desk view is not an ideal feature for you to use if you're using this webcam because, again, there is no gimbal in here for it to tilt down and zoom in on what's in your screen. Then over here, you've got your button for screenshots. If you want to take a screen grab for thumbnails, things like that for your YouTube channel, you can do that. And then also the record button if you want to record a video right here from the app. You don't want to go into something else like OBS or anything like that. Upper right-hand corner, we've got our 3 tabs, View, Effects, and More. Starting with View, in order to use the framing manually, you need to be able to zoom in. We're fully zoomed out, so we're going to have to zoom in a little bit. Now you see that green box light up right there, and now we can just kind of ask it where to focus, where you want your frame to be. So there you go. Now, I had to delete those presets you saw down here because when you open it up and plug it in, this is what you see. One box. This does not mean, and I was mistaken when the previous review I did of the Insta360 Link 2 versus the OBSBOT Tiny 2, that you only had one preset. That's not correct. You have multiple presets. It just has one box right there. So every time you want to add a preset, you hit plus, saves it. You want to add another preset from a different spot, you can save it, and you just keep going. Caps out at 10. Smart composition, those are basically preset framing shots. If you want just a headshot, you click that. If you want an upper body shot, again, I'm too close. I'm about 1.5 to 2 feet away from the webcam, but if I were to get further back, so now getting out of my chair, standing up and a little bit back, it's going to try and frame me from my head to my waist. And of course, whole body, self-explanatory. Get way back, about 20 feet, and it's going to try and keep you center shot, but from foot to the top of your head, or feet to the top of your head. All right, so that's the View tab. Let's move on to the effects. We have our color exposure. Everything, again, was set back to auto feature for the purpose of running through the app, seeing what it looks like when you plug it in right out of the box. If we turn that back to manual, so as you see here, it's 1/30. For shutter speed, that's not right. Because I'm recording at 30 frames per second, I want to double that. So now it's 1/60, and as you can see, that darkened it up. It's not bad. That's more like a YouTube content creation type thing. But if I was live streaming or trying to do a conference call, Zoom call, you'd want to brighten that up quite a bit. Autofocus is on auto because it needs to be, because no one has time to keep adjusting it as you go manually. White balance is an auto. Let's turn that to manual. And it's saying, what, 4850 for temperature. Let's jump that up to 5400 Kelvin. That's what I have my studio light set to. So now it's matching the temperature of my lights, and this is the image that I'm getting. All right, right underneath white balance, you see a show button with a downward arrow. Click that, and it gives you your brightness, contrast, saturation, and sharpness. HDR is turned off. When you turn it on, you're going to lose something. And let's see if you can notice what we lose. By turning on HDR, we have lost our ability to manually adjust the exposure. Turning it off, adjusting back to normal. Color presets. Here you can also save presets for your color correction, for your template. You're dialing in your webcam how you want it for the room that you have. If you're doing a Zoom call and everything's lit up, you can have a preset. If you're doing a YouTube and you want it a little bit darker, you can preset it and dial it in and not have to go in and do that manually. That's really cool. I do like that. Backgrounds, turning on blur. Conference call at work, you just don't want the boss to see what kind of mess the kid has made when you're staying home and working from home that day. Yeah, this can come in handy. Then you have your bokeh button right here. So it's not as drastic as a blur button, but it just gives you a slightly blurred background. And then again, you've got your slider down here to adjust the intensity of that if you want to dial it down and make it not so noticeable. I think 10% is really good, to be honest with you. One other thing I've noticed in here that I don't think is in the OBSBOT is the ability to have a custom background behind you. So you can add a different kind of background. Hey, you want to do a quick promotion trailer for your upcoming podcast? You can do it. Check us out Friday. What used to be 8 p.m. is now 9 p.m. live stream on The Level with Clay and Mike Newman on YouTube and Facebook every other Friday. If you like this video, be sure to check out the other video I did just a few months back on the OBSBOT Meet 4K. Kind of cool. Kind of fun. Not going to lie. And oh, by the way, Amazon Prime Day deals. Check them out. Got a video on that. Went through all the microphones that you usually see on Amazon Prime Day specials. Shameless plugs for videos. And then you can do the ones that they give you right out of the box. Turning it off and moving on. Makeup, you can adjust the tones of your face and all that stuff right here. And then filter, you can just basically change the color correction of the shot. You've got portrait, you've got daylight right here. Vintage. Vintage. I don't like that one. Vintage 2. It kind of gives you like that Zack Snyder bronze image. That's kind of cool. Neon and clear. And no filter at all. All right, that's the effects tab. When we switch over to more, that's where you're going to find your ability to turn on and off hand gestures, to turn on auto framing, to signal whiteboard movement or zoom features. And then we have audio mode. Let's go ahead and switch over to that microphone and give that a try. Microphone out of the way. Over the icon, it says reduces background noise and makes your voice clearer, ideal for close-up range and audio pickup. Voice suppression, let's go ahead and click that one. Why? Because my AC's running in the next room over. In fact, I have two of them. I have a portable in the next room plus my window unit on. Wanted to throw everything at these two webcams during this test out that voice suppression. So this is how it does. And then we have music balance. What is that? Turns off AI noise cancellation to preserve the original audio. So let's put that for a second. See how it does as I'm talking with the air conditioners on. There you go. Not as many settings as you would see in the OBSBOT app as far as audio mode. Curious to see when I go back and rewatch this with my headphones on, how the two compare. Let me know what you guys think. Right now it's plugged into OBS. Default features. I haven't even opened up the OBSBOT Center app. You're looking at it right now. And yeah, 4K 30 frames per second right out of the box. What you guys think about the blacks, about the colors, the vibrancy of the colors, the wood palette wall behind me, the blacks, you name it. Let me know before I knock myself out with the hand gestures. Let's go ahead and jump into the OBSBOT Center app and see what it provides you should you buy the OBSBOT Meet 2K. What can it do? Let's take a look. So let's bring this down so you can see my ugly mug as we're talking. You click the little sprocket right there, and it brings up this window, and it gives you resolution choices. You can change it from 4K 30 all the way down to 720, 30 frames per second. But this is your live streaming setup for most people. If you want to record a video using the OBSBOT Meet 2, you can switch it to 4K 30 frames per second, and this is what it looks like. Voila. You can also change it from landscape to portrait mode from here. You can also change your settings if you want to record videos with it using the app in low bit rate or high bit rate. And then also recording format MP4 all the way through MOV, FLV, and MKV. That's what the sprocket gives you. And then you've got your rotation buttons if you want to rotate your screen to the left, and then a button to the right, depending, there's buttons for everybody in here. And then you got your flip for orientation. So when I'm trying to say, hey, look at the OBSBOT Center tab on the upper right-hand corner, I'm pointing in real life in my upper right-hand corner. This comes in handy when you actually need to start pointing on the screen and showing people as you're walking through in a screen capture recording. I don't know. Something for everybody. In the bottom right-hand corner of the preview window, if you want to use the app, this is the button you hit to record. This is the button to activate your virtual camera. This is the button you want to activate or just take a screenshot of what you see right there in the preview window. This is the folder button to click and access the folder that you're saving everything to. This is the audio button. So again, if you're using the app, you can choose which audio source you want the app to use. Do you want to use the built-in microphones and the webcam? Do you want to use the Rodecaster Duo, which is what I'm using right now? So this is relatively new. You can, I'm already struggling with this. That little tab you see right there for the audio, you can do audio mixing when you want to record videos in the OBSBOT Center app. You can use the built-in camera in the webcam, and you can also bring in audio from your sound pads and your Rodecaster Duo, gameplay. I don't know what all you could use it for, but this is just kind of cool. That's what you can do down there. And then you've got your beauty button if you want to start changing all kinds of things that you want to adjust. Just a quick access button to different kinds of things you can do to adjust the image in the screen. So bokeh, if you want to blur that background up a little bit, click that. And now you can see, let's Let's move this over here. Now you can see the background's blurred up a little bit. You can adjust the strength to the bokeh right there. So if you just want a smidge, you want more. All right, retouch. If you want to activate that, you can do different things to your face. So I'm clicking this. You can just see all kinds of stuff happening to my face as we're talking. Boom. And then here you can just adjust stuff with your video, tone, face, all this other stuff. You want to slim everything up. There you go. You want to look skinny. You want to look normal. There you go. Filters, it's just preset color correction, different kind of tones you want your video. There you can run through. There's crystal. Here's film, sheer, pure, black and white, soda. You can see the level here. So let's just, I mean, you could do this with all of these tabs right here, but you could adjust the strength in which it's doing it. So black and white, you can just kind of slide that over to adjust the level, because that's what it says. It's level, but you can just use that to slide. So if you want true black and white, there it is. Bang, bam. So the first of the three choices right here in the operating center, so to speak, is console. The OBSBOT Meet 2K is a stationary camera. There's no PTZ. There's no gimbal. There's no anything. It's a fixed webcam. Auto framing. When you turn this on, basically crops the image, zooms in, and gives it a little bit of wiggle room to move around the shot. So I'm going to show you what we're talking about. Right now, you have three choices for auto framing. Group mode, which it tries to keep a bunch of people in the shot. Close up, it tries to stay close up on your face. Upper body, it tries to keep everything from like your rib cage, the bottom of your rib cage up. It will track me and try to keep me in the frame. All right. So that's pretty cool. Upper body. All right. So when I'm moving in the shot, see me right here. Pretty cool. This is auto framing. So auto framing, when it's turned off, you can zoom in manually. And now you can adjust where you want your framed image to land. Presets right here for preset zooms, framing, if you will. Narrow, up close, medium, and wide. Let's jump into the next tab, which is image. Here, everything has already been turned on. I guess it comes this way in the app. I'm not sure. I think HDR is on when you first plug it in. But everything's on. Everything's in auto mode. So right now you can kind of see, let me get out of the way, the different colors. As far as how good it is picking up those colors. We've got purples, pinks, orange, blues, reds, whites, and yeah, all kinds of really cool stuff. All right, moving back over here. So that's HDR, auto exposure. Let's turn this off and see what we can do with it in manual mode. I have a ton of lights on right now. This is basically my Sony ZV-E10 lighting package. I've got 3 lights in front of me. I've got one off to the side. Now they're off 45 degrees. And then I've got a Logitech light strip beam just above the camera to kind of light up right here when I'm wearing a hat. They're all like very low as far as power. I think they're like at 12%, if that. I have a hair light up above me mounted to the ceiling. And then I have 2 other hair lights in the back corners to kind of give light on not only the sound treatment behind me, kind of light up the backdrop and give me some depth, but also to light up my shoulders really good. So, a lot of lights. Let's make some changes and see if we can't lower this a little bit. In manual mode, we're at 1200. Let's bring this thing down a little bit. All right. Not bad. Shutter speed, didn't skip that. It's just it's 1/60. I'm recording 30 frames per second. So, rule of thumb, shutter speed should always be double what you're recording in. And that's what we're doing. Let's go ahead and drop this down. Yeah, so if it's just a little too bright and you want to darken the mood a little bit, you can. And this thing can go way up to 6400. So pitch black room, it's gotcha. There's 400. Just leave it at 1000. Not bad. All right. What's next? Now into white balance mode. It's in auto. Now that we turned that off, my temperature is set at 5400K, which is what all my studio lights are set to. They're dialed to 5200 or 5400K. So you can cool that down if you want. Ice cold, ice cold, ice cold. We can warm it up. All right. So I'm just going to set it to 5400K, which is what my studio lights are set to. Let's match it up. I never really mess with these when I'm in the webcam. Honestly, I think they're pretty good right where they are. You're not trying to reinvent the wheel when you're using a webcam. You just want some really good image, fast, easy. That's what you get. Saturation. Now, when it comes to saturation, OBSBOT is more of a saturation, more color depth. So if it's a little too strong for you, you can bring your saturation down. If you like that Insta360 webcam lineup, they're less saturated, more sharpened image. So you can get that with either webcam. They can be dialed in. Sharpness, I generally like to get my webcams dialed in to about 65, 62, somewhere in there. There we go. It's a little bit sharper. And then hue. And since we're messing with all these features here just to see how really awesome of an image we can get, let's go ahead and bump this back up to 4K. Voila. So there you go. Let's switch over to more. Device sleep, auto sleep, sleep time. You can choose what you want your image to be in this preview window when it goes into sleep mode. Now for this section of the video, I went ahead and turned the OBSBOT built-in microphones on, and I've got an air conditioner running in the other room. So there's some fan noise going on. When I stop talking, we're gonna see just how much of that background noise these dual built-in microphones are picking up. So yeah, just listening to that and looking at OBS, I'm looking at my meters, and the air conditioner sound, the noise coming from the air conditioner, is being picked up by OBS at -30 dB. So that's pretty high. Now on weak, it went from -30 dB all the way down to -50 dB in OBS. Medium, it has completely dropped off OBS. It is not picking up anything in OBS as far as that air conditioner now in the background. And then strong, here you go. This is what it sounds like. I'm wondering just how much, because I don't have my headphones on, just how much of my own voice is it chewing off and biting off. Curious. Automatic gain control, you could turn that on and off. If you want the app to try and determine how far you are away from the webcam, it can do that. And then on the bottom, we have radio distance. What's that? That's basically the manual setting for gain control. So you have automatic up here. If you want to do it manually, it's down here. All right, back on the Rodecaster Duo. I don't think I mentioned what microphone I'm using today. This is a mod of a mod of a mod. I have the Shure SM58 in this SM7B mod, 3D printed mod, and I took this top off. I removed the very cap of it right here, and I just went with a section or a sliver of an SM7B pop filter, put it at the end, and yeah, that's what I did to kind of try and help with that tinny sound that it had in the original mod, and I like it. I love it. So yeah, SM58 in the mod. Kind of looks kind of cool, doesn't it? Fun microphone to use every now and then. Just thought I'd use it since it's not a microphone review. This is a webcam review. But anyways, that's the microphone I'm on, and I'm back on it. So the rest of it, what's after that? Mirror image, just like it was over here. It's also on this tab. Indicator status, that is the light in the upper right-hand corner. Lets you know when it's on, when it's capturing you. If you don't want to see that, or if you don't want anybody to know that it's on. If you're trying to use this like a security webcam and you don't want people to know that you're trying to capture your office to make sure no one's messing with anything while you're gone, you can turn that little light off in the upper right-hand corner, and then no one will know that it's capturing an image. Export log, firmware version, you can update your webcam here, and you can also do a manual upgrade, restore factory settings, all self-explanatory. That's the app. And then up here before I go, if you want to use multiple webcams in your setup, the more you plug in, they'll all show up right here, and it's like a switcher, you know? So you can kind of switch camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, camera 4, just to let you guys know they don't all have to be OBSBOT Meet webcams. You could have the OBSBOT Tail Air, the OBSBOT Tiny 2, the OBSBOT Tiny 2 Lite. So if you want to do a review of the 4 different webcams that are out there by OBSBOT, you could plug them all in and then just hit that button to switch back and forth to show them the different images. Just something to chew on, if you're wondering. All right, so it's telling me I need a firmware update. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's my cue. We're done with the app. Let me jump out, and then I'll come back and wrap up this video for you guys. Again, this is not a video review, so to speak. I'm not giving you my my opinion. OBSBOT asked me not to give my opinion. They just wanted someone who could put them both side by side so you can let them know what you think about these two. And that's what this video is about. Comment down below what your thoughts are on the two webcams, which one you like better. This is the OBSBOT Meet 2, 4K, 30 frames per second, directly into OBS. So again, once you eliminate the app and you go straight into your streaming software, you're not sending the image into all these different places, plus trying to screen capture and all this other stuff on top of that in 4K can create a little bit of a lag, a little bit of a stutter. When you use it how it's supposed to, 4K, 30 frames per second is super, super silky smooth. And it's the same with both webcams, the Insta360 Link 2C, same thing. Now, OBSBOT did not require me to give my opinion, and I'm not gonna. This is simply a comparison for you guys, but I will say this. Whichever webcam you go with, you're gonna like it. They have their differences. They're not trying to go for the exact same thing. I think when it comes to the OBSBOT lineup, they go for more saturation, deeper, richer colors. Deeper blacks, a deeper detail in the blacks. And I think with the Insta360 Link, it's less saturated, less color depth, but a little more sharper, a little more crisp. So it just really depends on what you want. You want a smoother image, smoother colors, deeper colors. OBSBOT is your jam. You want more of focus and sharpness, but you're sacrificing color. The Insta360 Link 2C is your jam. But here's the thing. So if you're really not a plug-and-play person, that's when the app really comes into play. Which one do you like better? Because if you want to dial it in, you can get there with either webcam. You can find your happy place. But it's which one do you want to fight? Which one do you want to work with? Which one complements you better? Which one was just easier for you to navigate? Comment down below. Let them know. All right. That being said, that's the comparison video of the OBSBOT Meet 2 versus the Insta360 Link 2C. How I said that in one take, I'll take it. I'm going to run with it. We're going to wrap this up. But before I do, special shout out and thank you to all my channel members here. I really appreciate you guys. I love you, man. We are literally a family here on this channel. But if you can't afford to be a member, I would still appreciate and love your support by becoming a subscriber and hitting that like button if you like this video. So until I see you guys next one, also hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next video that's coming, because it is a coming. That's all I got. I'm out of here. Till I see you guys in the next video. Stupid outro.